teenage girl in Australia recently lost her life after participating in a deadly social media trend on TikTok called chroming. It's when kids inhale harmful chemicals such as nail polish removers, deodorants, and hairspray with the intent to get high. But chroming isn't the only concern on social media when it comes to kids and substances. In fact, according to the DEA, drug traffickers are now advertising on nearly all social media platforms and using code words and emojis as a way to elude parents and law enforcement. Here now to talk with us about this and more is Leslie Kimball, Executive Director at Responsibilityorg. Leslie, great to be with you today. A lot to talk about, but first, I want to start off with social media and the dangers it poses for children when it comes to substances, whether it's the illegal purchase of drugs or the glorification of use. Your thoughts and what can parents do?
Sure. Thanks for having me today. I'm here with Responsibilityorg, which is funded by distillers. We fight drunk driving and underage drinking. And we realize that conversations about these risky behaviors don't happen in a silo. So parents don't talk about underage drinking one night, cannabis the next, drugs the next. It's typically a conversation about responsibility. And that's something that we want parents to do is double down, tell their children their values, and make sure that they understand ways to say no and role play those conversations. That's what parents can do in their households.
Yeah, Leslie, and let's talk a little bit more about that. I mean, what should parents be looking for? I mean, what are some of the signs that maybe their children are using or abusing substances, whether it's alcohol or drugs?
Yeah, summertime is upon us. Kids are home, they have more free time. If a kid is in their room quite a bit alone, that's an opportunity for a mom or dad or parent, loved one, to say, hey, let's go get some ice cream. Let's go for a walk around the block. Let's grill out. Let's make dinner together. Engaging with your kids is the first and foremost priority that you should do to check in on them. And just ways to follow conversations that are happening maybe on the radio, maybe on the news, maybe a rumor you've heard in your neighborhood. Giving parents and parents talking to their kids about their values and risky behaviors is critical this time of year.
Yeah, and I know, the drug being used the most now by adolescents is actually cannabis, or marijuana. In fact, according to studies, between 2000 and 2020, teen usage of that drug skyrocketed by a whopping 245%. That's extremely concerning. Leslie, what do you think is going on here? What do you think is behind that huge increase?
We sometimes think that parents just may not know how to have these conversations or what their kids are doing. So again, talking with your kids about their behaviors, what they're up to, maybe what their friends are up to, that's top of mind and critical. Responsibility.org has a program called Ask, Listen, Learn that's been around for over 20 years. Our studies and research show that the more parents talk to their kids about underage drinking, the more underage drinking goes down. The same is true about cannabis. We have a section on our website, asklistenlearn.com, that does talk through a role play that a parent can have with their kid and really educates both parents and kids about what happens to a kid's body if they're drinking underage or using cannabis underage.
Yeah, Leslie, on the flip side, I know the alcohol consumption has dropped dramatically in teens, which is great. However, still a concern. And you talk about talking. How soon is too soon to have these talks with your children?
The moment a kid asks a mom, dad, caregiver, what's in that drink, if they are having to be having an alcoholic beverage, maybe at home, maybe out in public, talking to their kids about what is in that at an age-appropriate way is when you start that conversation. That product may not be for a kid. It may not be for a middle schooler or a high schooler or even a young college kid. And the parent really does need to have that conversation. Even if that parent thinks the kid is not listening, those kids are listening to the parents. Parents are the leading influence over a kid's decision to drink or not to drink or do some of these other risky behaviors.
Yeah, Leslie, we're almost out of time, 30 seconds or so, but how do you start that conversation? It can be really hard, especially when you have teenagers who maybe don't really want to talk to you at all at times.
They may act like they don't want to talk to you, but they do. In the car, if you hear something on the radio, again, take them out for an ice cream. You may want one too. It does not need to be a hard or difficult conversation. It can be very, very natural. It's just telling them, I love you. I want you to have a successful future. I believe in you. I don't want you to do these following things for the following reasons. That's what parents should do.
All right. Well, Leslie, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.